The world is a map Kael reads with his feet. He is the clan's scout, the one whose eyes see the path, whose legs outrun the danger. Today the map leads to a narrow pass where a small family of triceratops is cornered. The prize is the young one, a half-grown bull whose meat will be tender. The adult female is the problem. She is a mountain of muscle and parental fury, her great frill a shielded bone, her 3 horns sharpened by a lifetime of combat. Kael's plan, whispered to the hunters an hour ago, is one of distraction and speed. He is the distraction. He breaks cover, a fleeting shape on the rocks, drawing the female's massive head toward him. Her hiss is like a landslide starting. The hunters, spears ready, begin to circle, moving toward the juvenile. It is a dance Kael has led 100 times. He knows the rhythm, the precise moment to feint, to draw the charge, to leap away. He watches her feet, the subtle shift in weight that telegraphs her intent. He sees it coming. He braces to jump. A fractional mistake, a lifetime of consequence. He doesn't have time to fall. The impact is a blunt geological force. It is not the horns that take him, but the shoal that throws him against the rock wall. The sound is a wet, splintering crack. The world tilts, a smear of green jungle and grey sky, and the last thing he sees before his vision whites out is the beast's grey carrot and no US beak, a tool that can snap a femur as easily as a dried wig, opening in a triumphant roar. He wakes to pain. The hunters are dragging him back to the caves, their faces grim. They abandon the hunt, abandon the kill to save him. He is a living trophy of their failure. The clan's healer, an old woman named Delora, sets the bone with a practiced, brutal efficiency that makes him scream. She binds the leg in stiff hides and slathers it with a poultice of crushed leaves. The bone will mend, she says, her voice devoid of comfort. But you will not run with the herds again. Her words are a death sentence. His world, once measured by the rise and fall of the sun across the plains, is now 3 paces to the fire, 5 to the water skin, 10 to the mouth of the cave he can no longer leave. He watches the hunting parties go, their determined strides a mockery of his own uselessness. He is a mouth to feed that cannot fit its own bowl. The other clan members are not cruel, but their pity is a constant, sharp stone in his gut, a living memory of a skill the clan desperately needs and that he can no longer provide. This is his new reality, a cage of bone and stone, and the map he once read with his feet has shrunk to the size of his own shadow. The days bleed into one another, a monotonous cycle of pain and impotence. Kael sits at the mouth of the cave, a prisoner watching the world he once owned. He hears the excited shouts of a successful hunt, and the sound is a physical blow. He smells the scent of roasting meat he did not help provide, and the food tastes like ash. The other hunters, awkward in their attempts at kindness, recount their stories to him, but their words only deepen his wound. The dance of predator and prey, and he is consumed by the memory of his own final, failed steps. The hunt replays in his mind, a relentless, waking nightmare, the slip, the impact, the searing pain. His torment finds an outlet in the charcoal from the fire. He picks up a blackened stick and, on a smooth patch of stone, sketches the sweeping curve of a horn. The act is a release, a small rebellion. He can make the memory solid, something outside of his own skull. The floor is not enough. He turns to the vast, empty canvas of the cave wall. He needs color. He remembers the veins of red ochre that run through the riverbank, the pockets of yellow clay in the limestone cliffs. He sends the children, the only ones who still look at him without pity, to gather the pigments. He shows them how to grind the earth into a fine powder, mixing it with animal fat to make a thick, vibrant paste. The clan watches his obsession grow, and they seem madness. He is a broken man speaking to shadows. He spends his days propped against the wall, his crippled leg a useless anchor, meticulously recreating the scene of his failure. This is not the simple outline of a beast meant to honor its spirit. This is something new, something unsettlingly precise. This is the first true piece of cave art in their hominid history. He paints the hulking form of the mother triceratops, the texture of its frill, the exact angle of its horns. He paints each hunter in their precise position, The spears held just so. He paints the rock he was thrown against. He paints the treacherous patch of green lichen that caused his fall. Grak, the clan leader, confronts him. You waste precious fat on the wall, he says, his voice a low rumble of disapproval. This is not a story. It is a wound you refuse to let scar. Kael does not look away from his work. He dips his finger in the red paste and adds a detail to a hunter's spear. I need to see it, he says, his voice hollow. I need to see it all at once. He cannot explain that he is not just remembering, he is analyzing. He is dissecting the moment, holding it still in time, turning a chaotic memory into a structured pattern. In his private obsession, Kael is unknowingly sparking a cognitive revolution. He is teaching his brain to think outside the linear flow of time, to see a system of actions and consequences laid out in space. The clan is a madman's SC Rawlings. He is creating the world's first tactical diagram. A hunting party returns with the setting sun, their shoulders slumped, their spears clean. The pulse was empty. The Triceratops herd, spooked by the last encounter, has moved on. The tracks are cold. Hunger, once a dull lake in the background, now becomes a sharp-fanged presence in the cave. The last of the dried meat is gone. The children's cries are thin and weak. Desperation settles over the clan like a shroud. The younger hunters, frustrated and tired, gather near the fire, their voices low and angry. They speak of trying to take on a lone stegosaurus, a risky endeavor, or making a desperate raid on a pterosaur rookery high in the cliffs. Kael listens from his place by the wall, the flickering firelight making his painted figures dance. He hears their flawed plans, their lack of a cohesive strategy. They are reacting, not thinking. He calls out, his voice raspy from disuse. You look for the beast in the wrong place. The hunters turn, their expressions a mixture of pity and annoyance. What would you know, Kael? One of them mutters. You haven't left this cave in a moon. My legs are stone, Kael says, his voice gaining strength. But my eyes are not. He gestures with his charcoal stick toward the mural. Come, see. Hesitantly, they gather around him. Grak stands at the back, his arms crossed, watching. Kael points to the mural, to the scene of his own failure. You see a memory, he says. I see a map. He begins to draw new lines with the charcoal, modifying the painting. The herd did not flee east to the open plains. She knows the Tyrannosaurus hunts there. She would have taken the herd north, into the Shadow Canyon, where the path is narrow and she can protect her flank. He draws the canyon on the wall, a feature he knows from 100 scouting runs. He uses the red ochre to mark the position of the hunters, showing them a new approach, a pincer from the high ridges that the beast will not expect. This is his act of altruism, turning his private trauma into a public blueprint for survival. He is not just telling them. He is showing them. This is the miracle. He is transferring his knowledge, his scout's eye, through the medium of art. The cave wall has become a classroom, a strategy room. The hunters stare, their skepticism slowly giving way to a dawning understanding. They are seeing the hunt before it happens. This is a power they have never known. One of the young hunters looks to Grak. Do we trust a picture on a wall? Grak looks at Kael, at the fierce, focused intelligence in his eyes, and then at the mural, a perfect, logical plan laid out in earth and fat. He nods slowly. The scout's legs are broken, Grak says to the hunters, but his eyes see farther than any of ours. We will hunt as the stone speaks. They return 2 days later, not as defeated boys but as triumphant hunters carrying the weight of a kill that will feed the clan for weeks. The Shadow Canyon. The high ridge. The element of surprise. It all happened just as the painting had shown. They do not drop the meat by the fire, they carry the best part of the kill. The rich, dark liver directly to Kael. They lay it before him, an offering of respect. In that moment, he is no longer Kael the cripple, the man whose mind can run faster than any legs. His emotional turning point is complete. He has found a new way to lead the chase, a new purpose forged in the crucible of his own breaking. he picks up a piece of charcoal, he has a new story to tell. The mural on the cave wall is more than a memory, it is a promise. It is the clan's first book, its first tactical manual, a testament to the revolutionary idea that knowledge can be stored outside the fragile vessel of a single mind. Kael's tragedy became the wellspring of the clan's greatest innovation, the art of teaching. The art of teaching, this act of knowledge transfer, is a pivot point in the epic of Homo sapiens, the moment when a story became a strategy, when a drawing became a weapon. It is the fundamental spark of civilization, the understanding of civilization, the understanding that a shared idea is more powerful than a single spear. Every blueprint we draw, every lesson we teach, every line of code we write is a direct descendant of that first, desperate mural. It is a profound and enduring truth of the human journey. Our greatest weakness is often force us to invent our most formidable strengths, and it is in our broken places that we find the light to guide those who come after. The hand that can no longer throw a spear can still teach the world. And in a valley far to the south, a different kind of hand learns to close around a different kind of tool.